what's the difference between gentle parenting and authoritative parenting? Authoritative parenting is a term that was introduced by the psychologist Diana Baumrind in the late 1960s and early 70s, and her typology, which includes authoritative and authoritarian and permissive parenting, which you've probably heard of, has become the norm in academia when it's used to describe the difference between different parenting styles. Authoritative parenting is a style of parenting that is focused on the adult disciplining with limits and boundaries and taking care of a child's safety. So stopping them from doing dangerous things and teaching them morality, mostly with good role modelling, how they act, but also in what they teach the children. They're very invested in helping the child and growing a moral individual. So they will stop the child from doing things that could hurt other people, but also they're very keen to consider the child's point of view. So there's a high level of reciprocity and there's a high level of nurturance. So they really consider the child's feelings and sort of mirror them back. There's a lot of co-regulation that happens there. They're basically saying, I'm the adult, I'm the grown-up, I am big enough to hold your big feelings and help you to diffuse them. And they really do care about the child as well. So they're very nurturing as well as having high demands of the child. The word authoritative often gets confused with the word authoritarian. And I find sometimes a lot of people get very confused and they think authoritarian means quite old school Victorian, do as I say, not do as I do parenting, where the parent is in control and they tell the child what to do and they don't really listen to what the child says and the child has no agency over their life. But that isn't true at all. That's just when people get confused between authoritarian and authoritative. Now, the only real negative I've heard about authoritative parenting is some people believe that it condones spanking. It really doesn't. Diana Baumrind was part of a group of researchers in the early 2000s that there was a study looking into spanking, and they felt that sometimes, in rare cases, it wasn't all negative. However, Baumrind herself came out and said, I don't condone spanking, but in occasion there were times when it was not as damaging, but she, as far as I'm aware, has always said no, I don't condone spanking. And I think that's where the confusion came in, when people thought, well, it involves spanking. It doesn't, because if you're being a great teacher, you don't teach a child anything by hurting them. So what's the difference between that and gentle parenting? Honestly, the name. That really is it. So I'm often credited as being the founder of gentle parenting. I really dislike that, because I think actually people have been gently parenting by themselves for centuries. It was just me that I happened to come along and name a workshop that I was running, Gentle Parenting Methods, and then I wrote the Gentle Parenting book, and then TikTok ran with it and it became a massive thing with millions and millions of hits, and then the media picked up on all of it. But really, gentle parenting was a terminology that I used when I was running workshops out of my own home in England, UK, just to differentiate between that and the main style of parenting at the time, which was in the early 2000s, when everybody was doing sort of punishment and reward based parenting, but with lots of control. So very much in the authoritarian camp. I just wanted to differentiate what I was doing, so I called it Gentle Parenting Methods and Gentle Sleep Methods. And really it's just kind of because of Instagram, because of TikTok, it's just exploded, and the media have turned it into something entirely that it isn't. Now we're seeing researchers saying there's no evidence for gentle parenting, or gentle parenting is tough on parents, but in reality the evidence for gentle parenting is the exact same evidence base as the evidence for authoritative parenting. And actually me stumbling over that just then is why personally I chose to not use the terminology authoritative parenting and instead use gentle, because it's just much easier to say and people don't get confused and stumble over it like I just did then. But there is no difference. It's the same thing. It's based on having a high respect for children, high nurturance, helping them to grow and develop with guidance, Of course we say no, of course there is discipline, of course there are limits, of course there are boundaries. We just do it with respect for the children, and also we're very mindful about the impact we ourselves have and our own behaviour has. And we give the child control and autonomy when it's appropriate. Then when they're near a road or on an aeroplane or about to grab a dog's tail, of course we wouldn't give them autonomy then. We'd step in and we would stop them from causing danger to themselves or to other people. But when it is safe for them to have control, we are absolutely all about that. And in short, really, I just describe it as the way you wish your parents had raised you. And actually, I think probably the way that you deep down feel is instinctively the right way to treat your child. You know, when they're upset, having a tantrum, you don't instinctively feel that I really should be very mean to them. You probably think, if I was them, I'd probably want a hug right now. So it really is just that. Nothing more, nothing less. It is authoritative parenting, which has the biggest evidence base for it to be the most effective type of parenting. Please don't worry about anything you see with the media and sensationalising it, or people getting it very confused on TikTok, because, oh my goodness, I disagree with 90% of the gentle parenting videos I see on TikTok. It is just authoritative parenting. There we go. That's again why I changed the name. Nothing more, nothing less. Huge amount of evidence to back it up. Just different terminology. Thanks for watching. I'm Sarah Ockwell-Smith. I'm the author of 16 parenting books, including the Gentle Parenting book and Gentle Discipline. I'd love you to join me. I release a new video every week about different gentle parenting related topics, from birth through to the early 20s and early adulthood. I'd love you to hit the subscribe button now if you'd like to join, or leave me a comment below. Hope that helped you. Thanks a lot for listening.